Recently, I've been watching a heck of a lot of anime, going from classics such as Ghost in the Shell standalone complex to more recent fare such as Sleepy Princess and the Demon Castle, both fantastic shows by the way. Today, I'd like to tell you all about a recent show which I adore called Dragon Goes House Hunting. The synopsis of Dragon Goes House Hunting is this. Letty, a red dragon, is kicked out of his family home because he fell asleep whilst guarding an egg, which promptly got stolen by a hunter. Now out on his own, Letty decides he needs to find a place to live. After a couple of false starts, Letty learns of a really good elf real estate agent and part-time demon lord by the name of Diaria, and together they set off to find Letty's dream home. The English dub of Dragon is really well done. At the time of recording, only half the series is currently dubbed, but you can watch for free at Funimation.com. Not sponsored, seriously. Having had a minor bit of encouragement from my husband, I reached out to the voice actors of Letty and Diaria, Michael Kovac and Stephen Kelly, to see if they'd like to have a chat, and much to my surprise, they said yes.
You go first.
Yes, I guess I'll start. Hi, my name is Michael Kovac, and I voice Letty the Dragon in Dragon Goes House Hunting. Other things you might know me for are as the voice of Angel Dust in Has Been Hotel. That's the big popular thing that most people know me for.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a game called Blush Blush as a few characters, Eli and Ichiban, one of which was like a Markiplier-inspired character that a lot of people know about. And a few other things, Billy Bust Up, Lackadaisy. I've been in a few things. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for having me.
You're more than welcome.
I'm Stephen Kelly. I'm the voice of Diaria in Dragon Goes House Hunting, and I've also done stuff for Dragon Age and Warhammer and a couple of anime stuff. But this is the biggest sort of anime sort of lead role thing that I've done. So in Dragon Age Inquisition, I was Lord Pelharmond. I managed to make my way into some fancy things, that's my favorite stuff.
Also, if IMDb is to be believed, you were Nasty Nork in Spyro's Bad Day.
That is correct.
Is
Nasty
it?
Nork. Yes.
Because I was checking IMDb and I went, is he Nasty Nork? Oh my goodness. So yes, because I love that show. That's so good. Did you guys ever hear of the series beforehand? Did you know anything of it when you went to this job, or was it just?
No, this is my first time hearing about it, honestly.
No, I wasn't familiar at all.
Yeah, I'd gotten the audition, and that was the first I'd heard of it. So I'd looked into it a little bit when I got the audition, but not really too much. I just kind of watched the first episode because it was on Funimation, just to get a feel for it. But no, otherwise, I'd never heard of it.
So did you audition specifically for your characters, or did you audition for like a bunch of everyone in the show?
I auditioned for Diaria along with a bunch of other characters in the show, and so yeah.
Yeah, I believe we both got like the same audition document that had a bunch of different male characters. It had Diaria, mine had Letty, and a few other characters. The Eric, the hero character.
Yes, that's right.
and
that's
few
right.
others, slimes, and a bunch of just random creatures that you could do. It's a lot of fun.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, they've included things like Scottish accents on dwarves, so they've thrown me on one of those because I was born in Scotland and I live here, so did one of those as well. But yes.
So did you do everything on those sheets, or did you just go, I'll do this one, this one, and this one?
Did you?
Either of you?
I think that I did most of them. I don't think... I did do Diaria. It was awful, but I think I did do everybody. There are cases where you'll get like an audition script, and you'll see characters you absolutely don't fit. Sometimes you'll wing it, sometimes you won't. It depends on your comfort. So I think for Dragon, I did go for everybody on that list, though.
I think I tried it for everyone, except Letty, because I thought,
Oh yeah,
there's going to be someone with a better high range than me, so I won't bother. Which was my.
For that one, it said they were accepting like genuine children talent. I was like, oh man, are they going to cast
Yes.
I was really like, oh my gosh, are they going to cast an actual child? That'll be awesome. And then they cast me, an adult kid.
We're all kids. We're all kids. Yeah.
And you do it beautifully. You fit it beautifully.
Thank you.
When you were both recording, do you record it at the same time, or were you just like your disembodied voices to each other, or
Well,
Did you do it?
Considering we'd never met before this, we
Ah.
were disembodied voices.
Oh, there he goes.
Ah,
you
goodness.
were.
What was that?
You were
Frozen in time. No, we all record separately because it's quite technical having to match all the little lip flaps and things. So you and especially with recording remotely as well, you'd have to be dealing with multiple levels of lag of things playing back and things. So yeah, no, we all record separate sessions, but it does mean that whoever records first, the
Which
next
is
person
usually
then gets to
you.
hear those lines. Yeah, so there have been moments when I'm doing a scene and your lines are already in, and then there are moments when they're not. So it's
Yeah,
gone
for the
both
most
ways.
part, I've gotten to hear your lovely voice throughout most of my sessions. So, so I figure you usually are scheduled first. But there have been a few things where I've recorded first, but that's not common.
Right. Yeah.
Because I was wondering how, in the current situation, how things were done, especially with yourself being in LA and yourself being in Edinburgh. I think it was Edinburgh.
Yes, indeed.
I was like, how did they manage this? And so, okay, you record separately. It must have been really, really difficult then sometimes because you have to bounce off each other.
Yes, it works out surprisingly well, I think.
Well, that's anime for you. A lot of anime doesn't really record together. So, regardless of the remote situation, that's kind of the norm. So it's challenging for most people. But no, with remote recording, it's been really interesting because we all basically just are on Source Connect, and we just connect, and they record us from our own personal booths, which I'm not in my booth. My booth is actually my closet. But
That's common, it seems to be.
Very common. So we'll record in there, and we just have to make it sound as much like an actual studio as we can. And I think for the most part, it's worked out well.
Yep.
I've
As
heard
long as people have
mixed about
similar, as long as people have similar enough, good enough settings for microphones and acoustic treatment and things, they can then the sound engineer who works on the project can try and match the sound.
Yeah. Because I've heard a lot of mixed about Source Connect from various voice actors on Twitter and that. Because it's apparently quite a piece of software, shall we?
When it works, it works.
And also, but it's also, I can both tell you're definitely voice actors because big microphone, and I have a big microphone here as well.
Hey.
But I am no voice actor. I'm completely wannabe. So when now, as we're recording this, the set episode 6 came out the other day, and there's 6 more to go. And I find Dragon such a really wholesome anime. I think a lot of people like using that word for this. It's wholesome, and I think there's a good sort of friendship bonding experience sort of between Diaria and Letty. And it's really quite sweet, and because I saw some comments as there's nothing going on in this show, and it's like, but there's so much going on. It's so sweet and lovely, and I've already seen it in Japanese. I cried at the end of episode 12, and I am really looking forward to see how you two did it, because it is so sweet and so wonderful, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to be a wreck again because of you two.
Well, hopefully we'll do it justice.
I'm sure.
I hope so too.
So have you recorded it all now, or is that something you're doing as the weeks go on?
It's ongoing. It's weekly.
It's really ongoing weekly. I thought you'll have had like a handful of episodes in the bag, and then you'll keep. Oh wow!
Well,
I didn't know that.
We're ahead of what's on Funimation.
Oh yeah.
Episode 6 just came out, right? So
yeah.
I've recorded up to episode 9, I think.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I've recorded 9.
All right. Well, I won't say anything then, because if you guys haven't read the manga or anything, but it's so sweet and lovely, and because I'm actually throwing me off now, because I thought that you guys would be like, oh yeah, we did this ages ago. We're just waiting for it to come out.
No, we usually record it. We're usually, I think, like 3 episodes ahead of what's currently released. I think that's about right, like 2 or 3 episodes. That's usually how it is, at least from my experience.
Yeah.
but yeah, we still haven't finished recording the show, so we'll see how we do on episode 12. I have seen the ending; it is very cute.
Yes.
Ah.
It's just like, oh. I'm a big softie anyway.
Mhm.
So a question I got to ask you too, and this comes from courtesy of my husband. He says, having seen what houses have been available so far to Letty in the show, which one of those houses would you live in? And that's for both of you.
I would live in the house from episode 3. It's huge, and I'd be
Mhm.
protected at all times. If I were a big dragon, honestly, it'd be dumb not to. A lot of friends, lot of safety. I would totally stay there.
Mhm. Yes, was that the haunted one? Was it?
No, that was
No.
episode 2.
No, that
I
was.
believe. Yeah, the haunted one. Was episode 2. Episode 3 is the one where they built the house, and it has like the wolf guy and a few other characters.
The wolf and the minotaur and the lizard.
Yeah.
Right.
Because everything's fine, but the heroes keep breaking in. And it's just, I don't want my house to be where the heroes always come. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, it's funny. I get quite a fragmented view of what's going on in an episode because I sort of introduce the area and then I go off and do my own thing while he's
Yeah.
getting into trouble. So I usually miss out on actually seeing most of the action of the episode.
I should have realised that. So hang on, you weren't there. If I think about it in a character way, it's like you weren't there, so you wouldn't have seen.
I was just
Because-
off at the tavern or something, you know.
Because you see the note and you go, oh dear, and then you go and run after
Yes.
Letty.
Yes.
And it says, oh, would it be fine with me leaving? It says, I've already sorted that out. Yeah, be excellent to each other. It's just like, you made me sound so cool. And, oh. Actually, speaking on the haunted house, because that is one of my favourite sequences. Even in the manga, it's really good. Michael, you scream so much. How do you not destroy your voice? Because you scream at least once an episode, and that was like 4, 5, 6 times in that episode.
Oh, Letty likes to scream.
Yes.
Quite a bit. He's constantly in a state of panic. I just know how to scream without damaging my voice. It's something that as a voice actor you kind of learn with time, and experience. And honestly, with Dragon, with Letty, it's been a lot of fun because I've been allowed to do goofier screams where they're not like just death screams or anything. Like it's not like violent, like "Ah!" like things like that. It's actually like cartoony and very fun. And with episode 2 in particular, I was allowed to mess around and try to go for like weird sounding screams. So like The Shining, the scene that's a Shining reference, where you see where Letty's face goes like, where he does that. I tried to do 2 different screams. I tried to do one that was completely off voice just to see if it would be funny. And we didn't go with that one. We went for one that was more in the middle of his voice and what I was going for. Because I wanted to do one that was like, yeah, we did not. We played around with it though, but no, the screams are always a lot of fun. It's just a matter of knowing how to scream, you know, how to push that out without really straining your muscles or your vocal cords.
Because it's one of those. I believe you mentioned this on Twitter, Stephen. That you said that because the line in Japanese was, "If you activate a trap, you'll fall," but you changed it to "you will die."
Yes, you will. Yeah, there's a chance you may die.
That's it.
Yes, we just casually made it much more dark, and then like within, I was wondering if we were pushing it a bit, and then in the next episode, in the actual translation, he was saying stuff like that anyway. So I thought, we clearly got it right. We got Diaria's sort of casual sadism down perfectly. So.
Because the one that still makes me cackle is when they enter the Temple of Fall. And it's just like, oh, just watch your step, Letty. If you activate a trap, there's a chance you may die. It's like, what? Oh, and then, But I will say, for not being in the same sort of space, recording at the same time, you two really do have a good timing to bounce off each other as you do. It's really quite impressive, actually. Now I know you're completely separate.
Yeah,
Well, I appreciate that. We try our best.
Oh, the effort comes through. It's so much, I get so tired sometimes of hearing people go, oh, dubs are lazy and boring. And no, you put so much effort into everything,
Mm.
and it's so much fun to hear you guys. You're clearly enjoying yourselves because you don't sound bored or anything like that. You're clearly enjoying yourselves.
It's probably one of the most fun things I've gotten to work on in a while. So honestly, no, it's been a lot of fun.
It's great fun, and I mean, it's impossible to be bored when anime dubbing because you're having to do so much at once. You're having to read, you never get the script beforehand. We don't
Oh,
practice any of
okay.
this stuff. You cold read the script, so you're reading words you've never seen before, along to animation you've never seen before.
Oh, wow.
You hear the Japanese once, and then they go beep beep beep, and you're in. So you're
Oh,
having
wow.
to read this dialogue convincingly. So you're having to spin so many plates at once. So it's such engaging stuff. It's very you have to connect emotionally with it, but also very technically to get that timing down and to match the facial expressions and movements. There's a real craft to it. So yeah, I think it's some of the most engaging stuff to do. It's so it's all right there.
Oh, that must be so frustrating. You're having to just do it so quickly. Do you wish sometimes you had a bit more time to maybe flesh it out, or
You sometimes, I mean, Michael, do you ever want to like flub a line so that you get to do it again?
I've flubbed many a line.
But
I've flubbed many a line, but
like
no,
wanting to get to redo it though, to just add a little
no,
extra,
like
to get to have more time with that scene.
that's my secret. If I start a line and I don't like it, I will purposely flub it. That way I
Yeah,
have to redo it.
that mean you
If
get
I
to do it again.
if
Yeah,
I
exactly.
if I
Do
start it
better.
and I really don't like how it started, I will flub it just because I don't want that one to go through. But
Yeah.
no,
So you guys-
it's not been too bad, thankfully. I've the cold reading stuff is hard, but it's been a lot of fun either way.
'cause I'm guessing have either of you had this happen where you've flubbed a line, you've gone, oh god, that was crap, and then your director
Oh,
goes, yeah, that was fine, but it was crap.
Thankfully with me, that hasn't happened. Alexis, our director, has been wonderful, and
She's great.
if there's a take, if like even if she likes it, if I don't really like it, she will allow me to redo it. Which I'm
That's
sure
been
it's
my
fine for you,
experience as
Steven.
that's been
Yeah.
my experience as well. Yeah, if I want to give it a bit more emotion or I feel like I slurred a word a little bit or something, she'll say, "Okay, sure, go for it." So that's really good.
No,
Because like
that's
I'll
good.
do a
That's good to hear.
take. Yeah, I'll do a take, and literally I'll finish the take, and I'll just interrupt myself like right after I finish the take, just so they have one anyway. I'll finish it and I'll say, "Oh, I don't like that. Let's do it again." And Alexis will just be like, all right, let's do it again."
That's good. Yeah.
When I put this online, I'll tag her in the Twitter so she can see you two praising her like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure she'll
she's
appreciate
wonderful.
that.
She's brilliant. She's wonderful.
Michael, I must confess, I hadn't watched Has-Been Hotel at all until yesterday.
Oh, I gotcha. It's not everybody's cup of tea. You're all good.
But I will say, Addict is really good. I really like Addict.
Oh, hey, thank you.
Because it's just like, oh wait, that's you singing, and then also you sing, Stephen. So how is it that voice actors can sing? Everyone sings.
When you mentioned the screaming stuff, I was actually going to mention if I was going to ask if Michael was a singer as well, because it's useful. It's a similar sort of using the diaphragm. It's all useful for the
Exactly.
same kind of stuff.
Yeah, like with voice acting and singing, there's a lot of things that if you're a singer and a voice actor, you tend to have a lot more musicality in how you might deliver a line because you are more used to singing, so you might have like a lot more musical intonation in your thought process. When it comes to doing like especially with screaming, like Steven said, because you're more prone to like hold a note or be able to make several notes in a scream sound good and not sound bad. But no, I did choir all throughout high school, so that was my
wow.
singing experience. I never really had actual training aside from high school choir, but I just kind of winged it with Addict because I was asked to, and it turned out good.
Hey,
So I'm very glad. I don't usually advertise myself as being like a singer, because I don't really have too much experience with it. But I've had the pleasure of doing Addict, and there was another song that I did for a video game called Billy Bust Up called "I've Had Enough of You." That's done by Daniel Ingram, who did the music for My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic.
I was going to say that now. That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, I got to work with him on that song, and that was incredibly intimidating. I was very scared, but it turned out fun. I had a lot of fun with that one. Other than those two things, though, I don't really have any music experience except for choir. So I've just gotten quite lucky, I guess.
Alright. Yeah, I'm a composer and piano player, and yeah, I studied classical music composition at university, and I've sung in cathedral choirs and things. So I've done a fair bit of singing and some classical training and things.
Yeah, there's a bit of you singing on YouTube. You do a really good rendition of Hellfire, if I say
Thank
so
you.
myself. That was really,
Thank you very
really
much.
good.
Oh,
And
Yeah,
because
it's a
I
great
get,
song.
I get so it's I was amazed at how many people are sort of in your professions always seem to be multifaceted, and they can do this and they can sing and they can dance and they can do this, and I'm like, I can barely wake up in the morning, let alone
Same
do
here,
anything
man.
like.
Yeah, Brock the Investigator. I didn't expect to hear that name.
Oh,
That's an upcoming like point and click beat 'em up kind of game. It's done by a guy named Cowcat. It seems really fun so far. I've gotten to play. They have a prologue, I think,
Yes,
out on
that's right.
Steam that people can play. I voiced actually 3 characters in that game.
Is it
I
3?
voiced-
I thought I know you. I know your Graph, but I didn't know who else you were.
Yeah. So there's Graf, who's a cat, who's basically the adoptive son, I think, of or no, I think he is the son. I can't remember, but he's
can't remember
basically
either.
the son. He's the son of the alligator or yeah, the alligator character Brock. I was like, is he an alligator or a crocodile? The alligator character Brock, but he's his son. And then there's 2 other characters. I voiced a character who's literally just named Guard, and with the name Guard, you would think they're just like a one-off thing. They had like 300 lines, I think. So they were more than just like a one-off guard. And then a character named RJ, who's like a big bear character. So I voiced those 3 characters in Brock. That game touches up on a lot of things regarding like government and like being in power and stuff, and rising up against that kind of power and stuff. It's a very cool concept. Whenever I think that's coming out later this year. Or
Yeah,
maybe
I backed it
beginning
on
of next year?
Kickstarter.
Oh, nice.
And I played the prologue, and I really like, because I love point and click adventure games. And when I was
they're
doing research,
wonderful.
yes,
Love
And the
them.
fact that it's like a point and click and beat 'em up is also
Yeah.
pretty cool.
bit like
That's unique.
Streets of Rage, I would kind of call it. The prologue's free on Steam. It is really quite fun.
One of the sillier characters I've done more recently. I did some voices for Brawl Stars, which has gotten that's quite a big game, and I played Surge and Byron. So Byron is the very refined one, but Surge is like, they described him as American robot hero action frat boy. So it's like a robot Buzz Lightyear frat boy thing. So that's like Surge. So yeah, that's good fun. Sound
Yeah.
cadence are great. They're wonderful. They're so good about really.
Mhm.
Like, it was like when I auditioned for Diaria, I auditioned with an American accent because I assumed that would that's usually what's called for. And it was only when we got to the session that Alexa said, "Oh yeah, can we get you to just use your natural accent?" So I was like, "Okay." So like right up until reading the first line, I was expecting it to be American, and then it was British. So you kind of have to you have to be very flexible as a voice actor to suddenly new information.
It is very nice to hear a British accent, because you said it is so often American accents. No offense to the Americans,
Yeah.
love them. But
No, by all means.
Because one of the things my husband said when we watched episode 1 of Dragon is that he says, "Oh wow, there's so many different accents in there," and I said, "Yes, for once there's accents."
Yeah, I was so surprised. I didn't expect to get the role, and I certainly didn't expect them to go British with it. So like, and then as soon as they did do that, it opened the floodgates, because now I pretty much rewrite every line to make it more British. So
Good man.
on the
good
fly,
man.
I'm just on the fly, I'm just sort of improvising his vocabulary. So that's quite fun. It's been amazing. Like, and it's a testament to Alexis being such a great director that she's letting me do all of that. It's like I would never expect to have so much ownership over an anime character in particular. It's so unusual. Yeah, incredible, great fun.
Alexis in general has been wonderful because a lot of the time she's very flexible with allowing us to just kind of goof around with the script, and
Absolutely.
we're allowed to play. We're allowed to
Have
play.
have
and,
you
like,
have you
take a
rephrased a
line.
fair bit?
Oh yes, yes. She is very open to a lot of creative choices, and we've it's not common in anime to be able to do that because
No.
usually you stick to the script. But with this one, Alexis has been wonderful and has been a lot more open to just us kind of adding our own twists to things, which has been really sweet.
Which is great. I think it's a great approach when it's possible because it also lets the actor have a little bit more input and connection to the character they're playing rather than just come in, read the words, leave. It's a bit more
Exactly.
connect with this and bring more of yourself to it. So that's Diaria is much more Steven than he was before. Before I got my hands on him.
I was going to ask that during, because you're both the lead characters in this show. How much of yourself have you been able to put into them? That was the question I was going to ask. Is have you been able to put a bit of yourself in the characters? Because there's definitely been a couple moments I've noticed where you've added something, from away from the Japanese, and it just works. There's one scene. It's in episode 2. Letty's just passed out because, of course, he's passed out, and it's like rise and shine, Letty, and he's like Diaria, and then he kind of goes, like that. But in Japanese, it's just a. That's it. But Michael, you just draw it out with this long gasping. Oh, he's fainted again.
One thing that another thing that we've had a lot of fun with is because of how weird and how outrageous Letty is as a character and how some of his expressions are. We get to play around with a lot of interesting sounds and quirks, like vocal quirks, like that you usually won't be able to do with a lot of anime because of they're human, and and two, because of lip flaps usually. But there are a lot of times where Letty will be off screen, or he'll be he'll just be in the focus, and he'll have like an extra flap or something, where you can just wait, what are you guys laughing about?
I'm just thinking of all the funny expressions that he makes and all the potential for complete chaos with him as a character.
I was like, wait, am I missing something?
No, just thinking.
No, he makes a lot of interesting faces and a lot of interesting expressions. It's so fun. But no, like there's a lot of room for a lot of fun and just a lot of dumb noises with him. I love him. He's very cute.
dumb noises. One of the things that was really funny in most recent episode was he's being tested on by that mage, and we just heard a bit of Diaria's backstory, and then suddenly there's this big boom. Letty's and Diaria's like, well, he's finished now. I'll go.
Oh yeah, that's the most recent episode. Yeah.
Oh
man,
so
that was a
funny.
lot of fun. That was a lot of fun because basically when I was being directed for that, I was all in the background. So Alexis was just like, okay, you don't have to follow the Japanese for this one. Just make a lot of loud screams like you're being blown up and stuff in a funny way. And so I'm just in the background just going like, oh, please stop. Just a lot of that in the background for like I think a minute straight.
I think
really
was that sound cutting out a bit for everyone?
I think it's
so
Discord
sorry.
using the noise suppression.
Yes,
I'm
I
so
think
sorry. Yeah, that was my Discord. Hold on. Here. Yeah, it cut off because I'm so sorry. Discord, how dare you?
Yeah.
Like that.
There we go. Beautiful.
Just a lot of those kinds of noises.
That's brilliant. And because you give a performance that broad and ridiculous, it makes my job in the show to be level. I'm the sort of straight man in the comedy, so
exactly.
the
straight man and the loud one.
So pretty much all of my lines are kept at a very subtle level. If any attitude I bring across has to be like that difference, Although in the most recent episode I recorded, he does get a bit more emotional, which was fun. That's something different. That'll be coming up.
I just noticed something as I was observing. It's just like glasses, beard, long hair.
Yes.
Everyone, is that a thing?
I noticed that. I noticed that as soon as the call started. I was like, oh, interesting. I had no idea.
I usually don't have facial hair. I usually shave it, but
Oh, well.
I think like a week or two ago, I was just like, I'll let it grow again. So it's a very on and off thing for me.
Unfortunately, because of the thing, me and my husband couldn't go on our honeymoon to Tokyo, which was just like,
Oh,
that's awful.
We're gonna go Tokyo, and also what's really annoying right now, because we were gonna go try again this year, and of course not happening still. It's just like, and now of course it's like there's loads of Beastars merchandise, and there's Dragon Ghost House Hunting merchandise. There's even a pop-up cafe in Shinjuku for Dragon Ghost House Hunting. You can get a Letty drink and a Diaria drink. Yes, seriously.
Really? I didn't know that.
You get the little standees and everything, and I'm like, could have gone if it went for this bloody virus. But so hopefully sometime in the future. But it was just like, oh god, typical. Speaking on something like Beastars and all that, do you guys watch a lot of other shows, or are you just too darn busy and can't really do anything?
I haven't seen the new season of Beastars just yet, but I have seen the original. I really liked season 1. My girlfriend is all caught up on the manga. We still need to find a day to just because we usually like to just start the day and just binge anime if it's fully out. So with Beastars, we're just waiting to find a good day where there's nothing going on, where we can just completely go through it. I try to watch some of the shows that my friends are in, or that a lot of other folks recommend, but I don't really watch a lot of anime these days.
Okay.
I used to back in the day, but I'm not really as avid a watcher as I used to be. I still love it, but I just haven't got the chance to watch a lot more of it.
Yeah, I haven't kept up with many recent ones. I have always been a big fan of anime. I think the first anime series I watched was Dot Hack Sign, which was really cool and really unusual. And those are the kind of ones that stand out to me, like Dot Hack, Monster, Death Note, Black Lagoon, Hellsing.
Oh, yes.
These kind of weird shows. That's what I really like. And so I don't tend to watch a lot of anime. I find a lot of them are maybe tonally not quite what I'm so interested in. A lot of them are comedy, which is less, or a lot of them are very slapstick or very high schooly. And I'm usually more interested in the more serious ones. I don't think I've watched anything too recently. I do find that it's an odd effect that the more you get into an industry, the less you take it.
Interesting.
Like the more video games I've been in, the fewer ones I've played.
Wow.
It's similar. I do find I guess it's that you're spending more time sort of creatively involved in those things. But
the manga does a lot more referencing, especially in its 4-panel comics. There's so much more. There's like one where because Pip or Pipbert or P-chan or whatever you want to call the little birdie, the Herez Velga. I don't know how you managed to pronounce that, Stephen. I really don't.
Yes. We had to do a Google check on that for pronunciation. Yes. we both looked at it and went, "What?"
There's these creatures. I don't even know how to pronounce it. We had the line in the script. It's the two small characters that like you meet on the chair in episode 3.
Blimey, yes, I do know the ones you mean.
I don't want to say the word yet, but we basically saw the word Corpiker or something.
Yeah.
It was like that. We didn't know how to pronounce it though. We looked online. All we could find were videos of people playing like Final Fantasy 14, and they didn't pronounce it either. So we just were like, let's just eliminate the word. They don't have to know that this word is said.
I think 14 also had the name Hresvelger involved.
Probably.
Funnily enough.
Yeah. Korpuka. Yeah. Korpukkur.
Yeah, I think after that episode, I looked it up, and I think the most notable pronunciation is Corpiker. I don't know though.
Sounds
It
right
still
to me.
sounds wrong to me. So,
But I say because it's like, this is, oh, why does Pip's scream affect me so much? It's, oh, you need to turn off friendly fire, and so they go into the settings, and then it says, oh, I'll try and change the difficulty, and it's like hard, insane, impossible nightmare. You can't change it too easy because that's all this difficulty. It has been an absolute pleasure to speak to both of you. It honestly has, and that's from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for letting me bother and pester you into doing this.
You've been
not a
delightful.
bother. You've been wonderful. Thank you so much.
As Letty said, be excellent to each other. Just keep doing what you're doing, guys.
That line wasn't originally in the script. Just letting you know.
I did wonder. It's someone channeling Bill and Ted.
I can't remember who suggested that. I don't even remember what the original line was. It was something else, but it was changed at the last second, and it was very fun. Definitely appreciate the Bill and Ted reference.
Yeah, because I've heard that line before, and it took me a while, and they went pings, Bill and Ted, because they say that. Anyway, so I'm going to keep you guys much longer. I hope you. So you enjoy the rest of the evening. You enjoy the rest of the afternoon, because time zones. It's 11:15 here. It's almost bedtime. Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because, the wonderful world of time zones. So,
yeah.
Again, thank you both. I'm going to let you go. So, you guys, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just a broken record now. I'm just like, so, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Right.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Great.